So this is Gary here again at La Forêt. I wanted to do an audio disclaimer for this video. This is probably going to be the last one that we do involving musicians and so on for some time, unless I do another one with Mike Williams and something interesting might come up. So anyway, so this is what I've got to say, and a lot of you already know this anyway. I've been involved professionally in the music industry around the world for most of my working life. These videos about various artists are not sour grapes or a boo-hoo, it's not fair type of thing. They are simply here to help others understand, especially in the light of the last few years. As with most things in the media and entertainment, the picture that is shown is more often not what you think. Yes, we do take a very cynical and somewhat sarcastic view with what is presented, but more so want to point out that at a very early age, these young people are possibly tampered with, manipulated and manufactured into assets to push agendas, support mind control mandates, used to promote idealisms and ideology, and also used to make an incredible amount of money for those that handle and control them. It's not about artistic expression or temperament as they would want you to think. As Mr. Mark Devlin has pointed out many times, when you look into the backgrounds of the families, connections to various organisations, and that the chance of these people gaining any international success organically, and I hate that term, just by talent and hard work alone, it becomes clear why this success is granted from mid to highest level, where there are others often more talented and worthy of recognition but never get a look in. Here we present another band of a certain genre, and this time the Mexicans are at it, who clearly have been groomed at a very early age to play yet another part of their worldwide circus show, throwing out all the usual symbolisms to point out here of what could literally be considered an obsession and something that the young, especially under the age of any consent, should be steered well clear of. Will this band cut it? Keep going, rise to the very top? Probably not, but still generate enough interest in their field to keep the ball rolling and the concert-goer, music-listening public bamboozled. The term slaughter of the innocent came into play for a reason. Anyone that exploits children is the lowest of the low, in my opinion, and I've recently emailed an organisation that is listed on YouTube's policy on children in videos to get their take on this. Let's see what happens. As Mr. E. Marks says, nothing here is going to change until the second coming. Expose the lies, evil and deception, and expose the heart that believes those lies and craves that false image. But for yourself, seek the truth. One other thing to end this, it seems like gorgeous George Clooney and family have just been granted nationality in France. Why, I hear you ask? Because they got money? There are 6 countries that will fast track your application as long as you is in the club, and that proves our point. Now, once again, I know I'm not very good at reading out loud off of something I've typed, but there you go. So here we go. We're going to look into this band. I kind of feel sorry for them in a way, but I'm sure that by the time they're finished, they will also be controlling and guiding other people as well. So here we go with old Serge, and that's what I meant to say. Old Serge wrote a book, which he's editing at the moment, and it's actually turned out to be really good. So we will let you know more about that, and thanks for listening in, guys. So anyway, I suppose we should do this first, really. A bit tuneful. So
it's the 30th of December. Let's say this. It's one day left in 2025 until the ship begins in 2026.
Yeah, we're recording this actually the day before New Year's Eve, but this will come out the first week of January, because I think it's going to take a bit of a while to put it all together. So as you can see on the screen here, this is the one that I wanted to do about this band, and the thing about it is I've kind of lost my energy to even do this now, because we've looked at so many things. But I think really, if we just look at this picture here, it kind of says it all, doesn't it? And that's the end of the video. So thanks very much, and we'll catch you next year or whatever. But yeah, so we've got a load of pictures here. Now, I can't remember how this came to my attention. in the first place. And as I've said on many occasions, this is not a personal dig from any of us at these characters, but more to the system behind it that has basically pushed these people, or whatever you want to call them, into, let's say, behavioural patterns, and again, all the usual old symbology. So I wanted to use this picture here, and the one above it kind of again just sort of sums it all up. And next year we're going to do a thing on the wonky eye brigade. Sergi's going to do that because all these bods, when they get caught unaware, so to speak, they all seem to have a wonky eye, and it's
one-eye wonders.
Yeah, one-eye wonders. It's normally the left eye, right? So we won't go into too much with that and criticise these bods too much. But what we'll do is we're going to go in here, and we are going to take a look at this band. What is the warning the world? And on their website, it says something like, the world has been warned. Well, warned about what? So, as I said before, these three, they appeared out of the blue. Something I was looking at, I don't know what it was. And when I was on Mike Williams' show, on the Paul is Dead show, we brought this up, and he said the same thing. There is no way on this earth that these three have got the recognition so far at a very young age, organically, unless one, a ton of money has been pumped into them from behind, or two, they have been put together to play a part in, again, the continuation of this picture. So, as we said before, the Warning is a Mexican rock band from Monterrey, right? Not from Mexico City or anywhere like that, but from Monterrey. I've been to Monterrey. Formed in 2013. Anyway, you've got Dan, Paul, and Alex.
Yeah, Danny, as he likes to be called.
Yeah, Danny,
Poe,
and Al, right?
Ali.
Yeah, so we got to play on words there and so on. And I did say, I'm going to have a slurp of my wine here. Hang on.
You were going to do this with Sarah, weren't you?
Well, we were going to do it. Yeah.
But, that's me how it got
bit of a shame that. But anyway, and I was going to do this with Mark, Mr. E. And he's been doing so many different things, it's sort of not really come together. So poor old Sergio, he's got to sit and do it and suffer this.
Yeah, but we put some other extra bits in.
Yeah, and as I've said, I'm not trying to purposely be nasty or well, just sarcastic about these sort of people, but it's just the continuation from the Madonna days going right the way through, the bath bag, all these bods they keep rolling out.
The other thing is I think it's like some of the comments, we haven't had many comments on the ones, pre-Christmas and that. We've had some nice comments on there, but I'm sure it's because everybody's busy and they're quite festive.
Oh yeah, we've done good actually.
Yeah, we've done really good. We've had some nice comments on there about what people here we go. Yeah. What people thought in their earlier lives, like we did, at different things. So again, for me, pour moi, it's about looking at all these things. I mean, I'd never heard of these until you spoke to me about them and looked them up. And it was very funny that the other band that you're going to talk about linked into this. Well, for no reason at all.
Yeah, you found that. Yeah. So yeah, we were upstairs the other day, and old Sergio, he goes, "Yeah, look, there's another band like that one you're going to talk about, another family band." Again, doing all the usual old symbology and all the nonsense and everything. But these poor guys, they've not got anywhere, right? And the girl, again, if it is a girl, has a stonking voice, but they're not going to get anywhere. In fact, to the point, I think they've already packed it in, haven't they? It said
Well, no, they're. I think it said on the thing, and I'll look a bit more into it because we said we'd do a little bit more. That they're not going to be able to do their next tour because they're financing it all themselves.
Yeah, they can't afford it, right? So these three here are now on the major circuit. They're hanging out with the big wigs of heavy metal. And well, put it this way. As I've said, I've been involved in the music industry professionally for pretty much most of my working life. And I can tell you now, I don't give a shit what anybody on YouTube's got to say who think they know better. There is no way that a band like this can get any success unless they've either sold their souls or they've had major financial backing and maybe they have. But when you start to look into them, you start to realise that there's something very, very dodgy and also somewhat disturbing about three young people starting off at a very early age being coerced into doing certain things that I think back in the days when we were kids were enough to give you nightmares. And I'm a very open-minded person, by the way, so it's no good turning around saying I'm a stiff, or like we said when I spoke to Mike, oh, you're just bitter and twisted because you never got anywhere. I would rather do nothing than be in the position that these three are in and various other people that we will pull up in this little video. But anyway, 2013 to 2014, right? Okay, the sisters, in inverted commas, decided to form a power trio. They learned to play rock songs and so on. So, without going into this too much, in 2014, the 12-year-old drummer was profiled in a women's drumming publication.
That looks like a 12-year-old.
But that's not her. That's not Paul. That's someone else. No, it's not Paul.
Okay.
So there is no way, and I can assure you, because I have been involved in Rhythm Magazine, Modern Drummer, and so on, that a magazine would be writing about this person at 12 years old, right? Unless it was either paid for, right, with a large amount of money paid for, or the people that are controlling this gave them no choice but to put it in.
What's that GoFundMe appeal?
Right, so how about this? Now, if you go onto YouTube and you look at all the people doing cover songs, which again is another subject that makes my hair stand on end, there are literally hundreds of bands doing Metallica songs, right? They don't get a look in, but apparently these three prance around in their studio and do Enter Sandman by the old Metallica. And it says the video received attention from Metallica guitarist, old Kirky boy, who offered particular praise for Paul, saying the drummer kicks maximum ass. Well, I can tell you now, there's no way that Kirk Hammett in his busy schedule would even be taking time out to write a review of any kind on a Metallica cover song, right? It doesn't work like that, because there are plenty of bands out there doing much better versions, right? Anyway, so it says here, due to the recognition gained from their Enter Sandman video and encouraged by the bass player, right, of Alex, the Warning decided to seek a record deal to develop their own songs. Does not happen.
GoFundMe appeal.
Yeah, does not happen. You don't go out and seek a record deal, right? Okay, record labels, for what purpose they're there for, only invest money in stuff they know they are going to get an instant return on, because they want their money back, including tax, right? So again, this is all set up to play this little part. Once I've done my little rant on this thing, then we'll get on to the funny pictures, right? The band raised money through a GoFundMe appeal, which maybe they did, right, to record a 6-song EP, Escape the Mind. Now, this is what young girls do. They record songs called things like this to do with mind and mind control, right? 2015. Okay, so if you look back at this, that would have made that girl 12 years old. These are the kind of songs that these people write. During the production of the EP, the band met producer Jake Carmona, who went on to contribute to Escape the Mind and their 2 next albums, right? Most grown-ups, it says, never work with pets and children. right? So they had to be extremely appealing straight off. In 2015, the band appeared on the disgraceful Ellen DeGeneres show. That's what you do. Mexicans appear on an international renowned American TV show just like that. During this period, they raised funds of 10,000 and they raised funds including a 10,000 donation from the Degenerate and the Target Corporation, Target. This is what happens to people who work their asses off, and I know thousands of them who wouldn't get looking to attend a 5-week training program at Berklee School of Music, right, in the United States. So that means somebody has now had to pay for them to go and stay there, right, for 5 weeks. Okay, in New York, I think Berkeley is, right? Yeah. And they also gave 2 presentations at TEDx. Well, we all know about Ted Turner, don't we? A conference at University of Nevada, one in 2016 and one in 2017. The band was known for practicing with the Rock Band video game. And guess what? So the game's designers returned the favour by including 2 songs by The Warning in Rock Band 4. Now, what I was going to say, now I've got had quite a connection with Mexico, the same as I have connections with Brazil. And I said to Mike, name me, apart from Mana, one band from Mexico that has international success. And don't say Santana either, right? There are none, because in the industry, they are only interested in British, American, and maybe a touch of Canadian artists, because that's the most saleable stuff. That's why you don't hear of any world touring French bands, Spanish bands. The only big band that ever came out of Germany, apart from Rammstein, which is just a show anyway, is the Scorpions, and they all sang in English, right? So, excuse me, I've got the sniffs. Anyway, so when you look at it like that, you go, is this even possible unless it was by design? And the answer to that is categorically no. So the Warning's first full-length album, 21st Century Blood, right? This is what young girls write about. The music video, the track, won several awards in film festivals during this period. They were invited to perform at the mother of all rock festivals in Monterey, and also open a show for the Killers, right, another dodgy band, in that city. Anyway, it just goes on and on and on about all this nonsense, right, and so on and so forth. Of course, we've got a lovely picture there, and what colour is it?
Purple.
In Boston 2022.
That now, aren't we?
Right, okay, so we go through all this stuff. You can read this up yourself, because this would go on forever. The release of Automatic Sun, right, okay, was timed to coincide with the 2024 solar eclipse, right? So you can see they're already kind of pushing out this whole idealism of paganism, spirituality, all this kind of stuff and so on, and that's fine, right, if it's just a gag. Now, there's a great interview with Ronnie James Dio where he was being asked by, I think it's an English guy, you can find it anyway, where he talks about the occult and Satanism, and he also talks about crossing that line, right? And he said, you know, the imagery is great for rock bands, the colours, all that kind of stuff, the clothes and so on, and he said, you know, that's why it's been used for so long. He said, but there is a line, and when you cross that line, you are starting to tread on very dangerous ground, and it can be very, very bad for people, and the kickbacks are not necessarily what these people would expect. So the band's 4th studio album, which is quite funny, because when you look at the picture, when we look at this picture a little bit closer, you can see straight away that this is somewhat of a mockery again of the Last Supper, right? What bunch of girls write an album called Keep Me Fed, right? I mean, that is a bizarre name for a record in the first place, right? And it just goes on and on and on. They also also ended up the Grammy Awards for the Latin Grammys and so on. So these bods have gone from zero to literally hero in a very, very short period of time. And I said before, and old Serge pulled it up. We were sitting on the balcony yesterday because it was quite nice out there, and he pulled up one of their songs, and I said, actually, they're quite a good band. I obviously didn't really listen to it very well because this was, I would say, average. It was well produced. It literally had no chorus to it, and I know bands from all over the world that would literally floor these three in seconds. And I know it's not a competition, and that's perhaps not the right sort of thing to say, but it is true at the end of the day. So anyway, we'll get off. You should have a little look into this, and you can also look into the manager, the guy who's been involved with them for a long time, right? And again, I don't know whether his name's in here. Maybe it's not. I thought it was quite funny that in a wiki page, it's only old Paul, the old drummer, that's being given the wiki whack on the behind. Yeah. Anyway, so what was we'll just look at these little articles that I've got here first off, and then we'll go to the pictures and so on, because they're quite funny, aren't they? Right. So I was having a look, and you've got blokes, grown men, who are writing messages on their sphinctograms and stuff like that, who are getting all hot under the collar over these three, right? Like, oh my God, in all this, like they do with all of them. This is grown men, like blokes in their 40s. So anyway, this came up the other day, and this was from March. Surprise wedding. The Warnings, Dan, shocks fans with marriage announcement. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, whatever. We won't go there with that. Anyway, no. So apparently, Danny decided that marriage time was on the cards at 24 years old, right? The 24-year-old rock star shared stunning photos of her intimate yet stylish wedding. Now, I've had a look, and I can't find... Maybe it's I'm not looking in the right place, right? But I can't find any pictures of this person getting married, right?
I'm sure there's some in female to male. Male to
FTM,
female.
maybe,
yeah.
FTM. But I couldn't find any pictures anyway, so someone might be help us out with that, right? I said yes to my greatest love. Danny captioned the post, sending fans into a frenzy, while she had always kept her personal life private. This is a 24-year-old, basically, child, right? 24, blah, blah, blah.
Say about the sisters performing at the wedding as well.
The revelation was that the Warnings' devoted fan base were ecstatic and stunned, right? Then it says here, speculation is running wild on whether her sisters and bandmates, old Paul and Al, played a role in the ceremony, perhaps even performing a heartfelt song for the bride, right? Okay, so... And I
Very
thought,
good, but the funniest thing that you showed me, and I went like that, I said, but what's that got to do with a Mexican band? Look at what website, and I know you haven't got it on there. Halftime news about football, sports.
This is on a sports page
out
of the UK, right? Okay, so I thought that was a bit odd, as one does, right? But anyway, so like I said, I had a look. Now these bods here, like with a lot of these, they literally cannot stop taking pictures of themselves, right? So if you got married, you'd have a few pictures up there. And like I said, maybe I've missed them. If someone can find them and go, here you go, mate, here's a link, we'll have a look at the so-called bloke, right? Anyway, what I was going to say was, from a music business point of view, let's just say that these bods here really are, and they are out doing their thing, right? And there's it costs a lot of money to do this, incredible amount of money to tour. Now they've got their own sound engineer, techs, all that kind of stuff, all that good stuff. Tour bus a lot. No record label or promoter of any kind would allow one of their artists on their first major tour to cancel shows to go and get married. they would simply turn around and say, you can get married before or after. Well, apparently some of the shows were cancelled, right? So that's a big faux pas straight away. And then I thought, let's have a little look at another page, which ironically is also on a football page.
News 90.
I mean, come on. Halftime news with this, right? Now, I don't know who wrote this. This is a football page. It's about football. And with a lot of dodgy so-called football birds as well. Anyway, so we go on to this one, right? Life and romance, the three warning sisters and their boyfriends, right? Football News 90. So again, let's see who wrote this. I don't know who wrote this. The untold harmony behind the scream of guitars and the slam of drums. The story of real women, real hearts, and the music that binds them. Now, I don't know who wrote this. This is obviously one of those shit tabloids, right? But anyway, again, I'm going to paste these in the descriptions because they're all quite funny. She met Luca, a quiet, tattooed sound engineer. Now, why do you need to put that in? A quiet, tattooed sound engineer with a love for vintage amps, right? Anyway, so
19th century poetry.
Yeah, 19th century poetry. It's like, this is some of the worst stories I've ever heard, right? And then old Paul here, he's got a boyfriend. She's got a boyfriend. And then old Alex, the youngest, was the quiet observer, the grounding force. Now, I'm not taking the piss out of people getting married, but these ridiculous articles just continue to big up bullshit stories.
Yeah, it's all romantic for people that think they're romantics, isn't it? I mean, it's
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
you never rushed her, I think it says down there. The one for Alexandra. That,
Yeah. Emotional glue in the band. While her sisters drew the spotlight, Ali watched the world with her wide, thoughtful eyes. She met Noah.
and his ark.
She met Noah and his ark.
And all his animals.
A 21st century plumber, right? No, a music journalist during a backstage interview in Montreal. He was kind, slightly nerdy, and genuinely interested in the band.
Now, can we find any pictures of them?
No, the answer
can't.
is
No,
you
we've
cannot
tried.
find any of this. And there was one little bit here where it says, where is it? How about this?
Yeah.
And I'm not, honestly, guys, I'm not taking the piss here, but it's very difficult not to. That there were shared dinners on rooftops between gigs, Zoom calls across time zones, surprise appearance at concerts, and moments where one would silently wait in the wings just to see them shine. Love didn't dim the band's fire, it added to harmony. Right, that's all very nice, isn't it? But, you know, it's absolute... just manufactured rubbish.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it's probably, and this was only in October, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, what we did.
But it's a good selling point for the band.
Oh yeah. It's good. It's good publicity because we know that people.
Good for the old boily girls.
Yeah, we know that publicity is everything, and there's one way of looking at it by looking at people like Trevor Swift miming, and even the pictures of Dolly Parton, the old dollster with his massive fingernails on, playing guitar. He can't play guitar in massive fingernails, right? But anyway, what we've got here, this is a page. Now, this is on Fandom, right? And we can use some of these pictures because actually they're quite good. Surprise Wedding, we'll get rid of that. The Warning Band, we'll get rid of that. We don't need that anymore, right? But we're going to look at this, right? Now, I know people are going to say, as I've said before, you're a bit of a stiff these days, aren't you? Let's just be really nice and say these are three young girls who wanted to be rock stars, right? When we look at the pictures early on, and then you look at the pictures of them now, one of them seems to the bass player must have been sleeping with the feet in compost because it's about 3 foot taller than the rest of them. But what kind of young ladies use this kind of imagery, right, in their album covers, and also the names of their records, right?
Yeah, people will turn around and say, well, they didn't choose that. Well, they have to have a say in certain things, as we know, with the things that you've done and I've done, particularly with the photography and the album design things that we've done. You know, an artist says what they like. But again, this is about publicity, but this is also sending
a very unpositive, non-positive message,
demonic message
to other people, right? So, oh, where's it gone? So anyway, so if we look at this, not this here, right? Okay, this is the album cover from the latest album, right? And all right, they're a little bit older, right? So you can get away with it, a little bit older, right? But when these bods were young, see they've got the old fake hips there, right? Okay, I'll show you. There's some pictures there where you can see this person's got no hips. It's just wearing padded pants. The parents of these three would say, hold on a second, I think we're getting a little bit carried away here. Why are we making our children do satanic occult symbolism at sort of 8 to 12 years old? That's not good, is it? That's not healthy. So this is the last record. So this is obviously a mockery of the Last Supper. People will say it's not, but of course it is. You've only got to put the two together and you can see. So we've got the fat cat businessmen, right, and some birdie, I don't know, and I don't know what is going on in here, but as soon as I saw that, I just thought there's something not right about that. And also with a title like this, keep me fed on what success? I don't know, right? It's a difficult one. But then when we look at some of the other stuff here, these so we've got that one there. Let's have a look at we'll just scoot through some of the artwork. Now again, I don't know whether the artwork is part of what they do or fans have done it. So of course we've got the old one eye here, right? That's fair play. It's the old one eye symbol there,
all in red,
right? All in red.
Evolve.
Okay, we've got what else we got here? I don't know what on earth this thing is.
It looks like a candle.
Yeah. Opening new tab here. We've got this here. Right?
It looks like a.
Okay, so we've sort of got two pyramids here, fire and all this kind of stuff.
It looks like you've got the old and it is. It says like the old Matrix.
Yeah, the numbers.
Numbers like on the Matrix at the back. You've got a diamond. You've got a fist holding like an Olympic torch.
Yeah, so you've got a hooded character here. This is a hooded character. There's the hand coming out of the hood. And then, like I said, this is a diamond, but of course it's just a mirrored pyramid, right? And the point of showing you these is not to turn your stomach or anything like that, but it's to show that there is something very odd about this kind of thing. Choke, right? And people will say, yeah, but they're a heavy metal band. Well, actually, they're not a heavy metal band. They're a rock band, right? They're not heavy metal at all. There is quite a fine line again between that. I would put them more in line of a band like Foo Fighters or something like that, right? But anyway, again, you know, you've got the coming out the abyss, all this kind of stuff. You've got some ghostly figures here, and the old covers and everything look cool. Still got the numbers, and you think, yeah, that looks all right, you know. And then you've got things like this, right? Okay, so again, if you look at this and you think, well, escape the mind. So are they sort of saying to people that they are mind-controlled victims?
Yeah, or it's your mind a maze.
Yeah.
How do you escape your own mind if everything that you're being told is true or a lie? You have to go decide on yourself. And we've looked at other things like this, haven't we, where people have used this same type of artist's impression of the mind being a maze.
Yeah. But is, like I said again,
stuck in the centre, can't get out. Look, stuck in the centre.
Yeah, is this the kind of thing? Is this the kind of thing that is healthy for young people to be doing? And the answer, of course, is categorically no. It isn't.
This is a great one.
Yeah, look at this. I mean, what is this? Free falling, right? So I don't know. All this stuff sort of, to me, like I said, that's 2015. It only adds up when you realise kind of what these. So this one here, I thought this was an interesting one because, of course, this is a direct rip-off of the Sex Pistols album, right? Album cover, and this is called
Sick.
Sick. The Warning. kill the silence, give me violence. I mean, you've got to be... I don't know what to say. I really don't. And it's not about criticising people who do edgy music and stuff like that, because their music is not edgy at all. But I wanted to show you just quickly, as we're in this little bit here, some other imagery that they've used. Well, there's the old, as you can see, I don't even need to open them up in a separate, oh balls, in a separate thing, do I? Let's go back down here.
The one eye.
Yeah, you don't really need to even go too far with this. All you got to do is that, right? So there you go. Now, I don't know who drew that or whatever. There's your old one eye symbolism, right? You got this one here. I thought that was a bit weird. So that's like someone's heart that's been wrenched out of its chest. The Crimson Queen, okay? What else we got here that's a bit creepy? They are somebody look glued to their stalker. A stalker in a red dress, right? Again, people are going to say you're just, you know, what is this about, right? Now, I don't know who did all this, right? I'm sure that these bods never sat down and did this. There's the rose. You've always got to have a rose in it. A disturbed, cracked face. This apparently, I think this is the guy, David Bendeth. I haven't really looked into him too much, but he's a producer bloke. You can probably pull him up.
David
Bendeth.
I'll have a look what you've just
David Bendeth, right? I'll carry on scrolling through these. My old detective mate is going to have a look. Here's another rather disturbing picture. And you could go on forever with this stuff, right? Okay, we've got the old crown there. The Reaper.
He's 71 years old, born in 1954. David Jonathan Bendeth is an English multi-platinum award-winning record producer. He's also the frontman of the Bendeth Band.
That's the same picture from that singer here, right?
Got there. Jazz, funk, rock, hard rock, heavy metal.
Yeah.
Occupation, recording producer, songwriter, musician and mixer.
Right, so once again...
Sony Canada, EMI and Ensign are his labels.
Right, so once again, I am a record producer, right? I've produced records from all around the world. I've played on multiple tracks. I've been on television. I've worked with schools, right? I've done all kinds of stuff, right? And again, I'm 60. In my time, I have never ever heard of a band of this age group from a country like this ever getting any recognition. And they should get recognition. Bands from all over the world should get recognition, not just, oh dear, they're from Italy, oh dear, they're from Greece. And as a prime example, old Luch, one of the greatest guys in the world, he's nearly 40 now. No one will touch him, and yet he's the most amazing musician. And that's, people go, well, he's from Italy, isn't it? You know. So let's have a look at this picture here. What do we see here? Who are these two blokes, right? They almost look the same, right? And why is this person doing this? Now, how old do you reckon that person is? Can't be much older than, and you see he's wearing a padded bra, right? Because in the later pictures, this person is completely flat-chested, right? Yeah. Now, this is the one that grows up to be really tall, looks younger than the rest of them. Why are you doing this? Right? So from a very early age, and we'll show you a couple of corkers in this as well, not just of these guys, right? So this is their studio in Mexico. They've got the top quality gear at a young age. There's some pictures of them much younger than this trying to play the most ridiculous sized guitars you've ever seen, and they can play them. I mean, old Dan here is a bit of a mean man on the guitar. Yeah. Why is this one here doing this? Because this person has been indoctrinated into this idealism from a young age. And also, if you note, they're all wearing boys. Well, apart from that one's got a slight heel. Why are they all... They're all wearing boys' shoes, right? Okay. Yeah, but, you know, Dr. Martens are the... But we'll get into the shoes a little bit later on, because you will see as we know, there's not a lot of blokes who like walking around in high-heeled shoes.
No.
But they give them these big stacked shoes, which are easy to walk in. So that's another story. So when you look at that, you just think there's something rather odd about this. It doesn't add up again. Right?
No, I mean, like you said when you showed me that picture, it wasn't about them there looking like they're young ladies and stuff like that. It was the hand position. That one hand position. There you go with the other one.
Right, now, this bloke here, right, Rudy, I thought, who's he? He's another middle-aged bloke hanging around with kids.
23 or 33 when you hover over the top of that.
Yeah, 23 or 33. That's great, isn't it? Number 23 or 33. Right, so here's another middle-aged man hanging around with basically young kids. So I looked into him and I thought, well, I've never heard of him before. So I did clicked on his link, found his name, and he's worked on a few like productions in Mexico. But funnily enough, he also worked on Titanic.
Yeah.
With old Kev Winslet, right? It surges out of his wine. I've been off the wine for the last couple of days because it's made my tongue sore. Anyway,
people might say it's because we talk too much.
Well, maybe we do talk too much, but we don't care anymore. No. So, like I said, I'm not knocking the. I feel sorry. I actually do feel sorry for these three. I really do, and it's quite funny because in bands and music, right, you get the quirky one, which is the singer.
Just to look something up, carry on.
You get the quiet one, which is the bass player, and then you get the arrogant looking one, which is the drummer, right? And we'll show you some more proof in a short while. So when they did their TEDx talk, this is what they said. And I watched this, right, and I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. So at a very young age, they get on TEDx, which if you've got plenty of money, you can get on there, right? And they stood there in front of this audience of gobsmacked, dumb, brainwashed adults and talked about how they've written songs about the experiences of their life. I'm like, you're 12! And also very competently as well. Very well presented, right? Because they have been groomed at an early age to play this part, to continue this basically shit show of promoting a certain type of ideology. So anyway, old Rudy here, and we're probably going to end up getting whacked by the Mexican mafia or something.
Oh, really? Oh.
So here he is. He's doing his old V sign, right? Okay, and we'll look at a couple more pictures of him, right? Here they are again. Look, as you can see in the background, they're all doing their signs. Right? Okay, literally every picture, right? There's something very odd with all this. Of course, take the picture with the old one eye covered, right? Here he is again, right? And look, of course, this is at TEDx. You can see how young, right? Yeah, Serge, look how young these people are, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
straight away, like you said.
There you go, right? So we got the X. We know about the X, don't we? So I think this is at TEDx, right? Right, so we got the old heart there and everything. This guy, I'm sorry, I think it's rather odd that this bloke is hanging out with kids. But anyway, that was at TEDx, and like I said, they were told. Basically told what to say and expressed that the songs were about their lives at this age. Once again, doing the old hand signs. We'll get rid of this bloke in a minute. Right, here he is again. And as you noticed, this guy doesn't smile very much. Okay, he's quite a menacing looking character. Yeah, he also thinks he's a bit of a muso. I think he's all tatted up and everything.
They're all doing the old
Look
symbol,
at them.
though.
They're all doing it, right? They're all like Jim Toomey.
Yeah.
They do it to me, right?
Do it.
And of course, the old Def Leppard, they've got the old, the old pyramid sign with the one eye in, right? So if it was legit, you would say, well, all right then, you're obviously really going over the top with this. Here they are again. They cannot, I'm sorry, guys, we do have to do this. They cannot do anything without doing this shit. And I don't like the word retarded, because that's that is actually, I find that rather offensive towards people who are perhaps a little bit backward, right, in one way or another. But I'm afraid these symbols and everything that these bods do make you look backward. There's something wrong with you upstairs. So here's those two blokes again, right? This is the one that was doing I mean, this is quite passable here, right? It's not doing any sign. This bloke does not look like the kind of bloke you would trust with your kids, right? Sorry, mate. That's just what I think, right? And as a ex-policeman officer, I think you would probably agree with me as well, right? And again, you know, I mean, this is a bit of a fuzzy picture, so we'll get out of some of this now.
Yeah.
But, you know, like we said, there's another, what is this, you know? And they've actually, apparently, they're going to have a cartoon done called Animosity, which is actually a Seven Dust album, which I've got, which is very good. Warning X, I'm the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
A webtoon. Right, so if we carry on, I'll just have a couple more, just pull up a couple more of these. See what I mean? This guy just does not look legit to me. He looks a bit on the old dodge side. Here they are getting a little bit bigger, a little bit older, right? Okay, so again,
I mean, they looked pretty natural and pretty cute as kids, didn't they? You'd look at them. I mean, you know, when you look at
as little kids, they're passable, right?
They're passable, but now
right?
It starts...
now you know, like I said, this is the old classic white snake stance, you know. But you can see in this again, we're probably going to get clobbered for this, but you know, these are straight up and down little bodies. These aren't who they pertain to be.
Well, we haven't been slammed yet. Because
no,
we're just talking about
it's pretty obvious.
a visual representation of what many people are speaking about, but just really haven't got the kahunas to go online and talk about it.
No, and what we're going to talk about as well is mannerisms, right? This is a pretty good picture, right? Great hair, by the way, right? Okay.
And like you said, there's nothing to say they're not good musicians. They can't sing, they can't play the instrument.
Oh, no, they can.
It's everything that goes behind it all, and that's what we keep saying about. And unless we keep plugging it and putting it out there, people will go, yeah, well, they're just two old gits that get drunk, drinking their wine. But no, it's not just about the music industry, it's about the other things that we're going to do as well and everything else, because it's all about this indoctrination into certain beliefs. Exactly.
Now what I was going to say on that, it's a good point there, old Serge. What I was going to say on that as well is that let's open this up now. We'll go back to these pictures, right? Now, one of the reasons like I've said, what I want to bring up, male mannerisms are completely different. Here he is again. Here he is. He's a little bit younger in this one. I think that's the same bloke. I don't know. Anyway. So these little symbols here, everybody says, oh, this is the peace and victory sign. Maybe it is. I suspect it probably isn't. Again, I'm afraid, even with heavy metal bands and everything, you know, this is kind of, I mean, do these really look, I mean, I don't know, anyway. So we'll look at some of the pictures here, because it is quite interesting to see. So here's the bass player. Who does that look like?
Wendy.
That's old Wendy out of the Addams Family, right? Now, I can tell you right now, there is no effing way that this little person here was playing is that a jazz bass? Or a precision? I don't know, whatever. It looks like a P bass to me. But anyway, now when we talk about mannerisms, manly mannerisms, right, there are things that girls do. Now, I've seen a number of girl musicians, and Annika Niels, who's a great drummer, looks like a girl playing the drums, right? Okay. Now, I know a lot of these girls want to be boys, right? Okay, these are matte. This looks like the fucking dude out of Dokken, right? Okay, no, it does.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Well, you know this. I'm just like, you know what I mean, right? I mean.
Well, we'll link back to that picture.
Yeah.
Apart from the hand.
Yeah.
When we come on to the other one that we're talking about.
Oh yeah. We'll show you the influence. The influence, right? Now you've seen the younger pictures here. Look, once again, I'm a rock and roll guy, right? I toured with Joe Lynn Turner, one of the greatest rock singers of our era. None of us did this shit, right? Well, it's not me and Joe anyway, right? In fact, I've just emailed Joe, right, who did a great album and one of the songs called Belly of the Beast, and he will tell you quite categorically what this is all about. Now, there are some very suspect pictures in here. This is supposedly them when they were really little. This person is not playing this guitar, right? There's no way. This is just like a publicity stunt, right? But we're talking about major league, reasonable quality gear here, right? So they
and this, like you said to me when we were talking about it, this isn't about somebody who thought they were good musicians at this age. This is no different to all the other bands that we know have been staged over the years through Britain's Got Talent, AGT, and we'll talk about AGT with one of the pictures that you come on, American Idol, and all the other things,
all put together by a bloke we went to school with.
Well, not all of it. He instigated
all of them.
All of them, didn't he? With the good old cow, who's got a bit of a wonky eye. But it's just like, well, yeah, influential. Here we go. There you go. Straight away, you showed me that one. I was like, right, okay, there's another one. Why? Because they've been told to do this.
See, now, here's the arrogant one, right? This is the arrogant one. And maybe drummers are arrogant. Maybe I'm an arrogant bastard. I don't know.
We can be sometimes. This is
the goofy one, right? The goofy one. And this one, I am convinced, is not too sure about what's going on. This one here says to me, I don't really want to be doing this. I don't know. There's something about that person that really I kind of feel a bit sorry for. And then you look at things like this, right? So now they're getting a bit older. They're starting to sexualise them now. Why are you wearing these great big platform shoes, right? And in every picture that you find, they are basically rocking these great big platform shoes. And that is basically because, and of course, as Mark, Mr. E, will tell you, there is a reason that they do this leg cross, right? You can do some of the research yourself. Again, very large shoulders, tiny waist, but they're sexualising these bods, right? They've gone from this, spec to base. I mean, we're talking about like endorsement shirts here. They've gone from that to that. And people go, well, why shouldn't they be sexy? Well, I don't, there's nothing wrong with being sexy. Like Nigel said in Spinal Tap. Well, what's wrong with being sexy? No, she said sexist. Oh, right. There's nothing wrong with being sexy, but then we...
I mean, what this does, and we're not being snobs or anything like we said before with the other things, is these are real women. It's sexualising it.
Oh, yeah,
and then you get the accusations that there are men, or there are other things on both sides where it says, well, a woman has the right to dress how she wants. Doesn't mean that a bloke should be able to go and do something. But you're putting it out there.
Well, you see...
You're putting it out there, and they're putting it out there in a different way to fashion models.
Oh, yeah,
I've got to be honest.
Yeah. Well, in the old rubber there, they look like they're off to a fetish convention, right?
Maybe they were.
And I should know because I've been to some. Yeah, and I'm not frightened of admitting it. I wouldn't go anymore. This particular picture here with the big fake hair...
Looks like something out of the Hunger Games.
Yeah, well, when you zoom in on this one...
The size of her hips.
Old Ali here is not impressed. I'm telling you now. This one is not too sure about this. But this one
maybe
here...
she's just fucking miserable.
Well, maybe. But this one here, when you zoom right in, this skirt, this dress, has got wires in it. And when you zoom right in, you can see that old Dan's got no hips at all, right? But they got those funny shoes on. But I wanted to show you a couple of things here. I thought this was quite funny. Now, this is Rudy Sarzo, right? Now, Rudy Sarzo, anybody who knows, was one of the most, I guess, well-travelled and versed bass players, probably in the history of bass guitar, especially in rock. Played with Ozzy, Whitesnake, you name it, Rudy's done it. And he's in his 70s now, and he still looks great, right? So if we look at Rudy there, then who is this then? Well, that's old Alex, right? I mean, it is literally the same person in a different pose. These are...
That doesn't look like a woman.
These are masculine poses, right? Remember, bass guitars are heavy. I'm not saying that girls can't do this, but the mannerisms do not lie, right? And I'll show you another one in a minute. And I thought this again was quite funny because we all love our checkerboard clothing, don't we? Right? There it is. I don't know anybody who wears checkerboard clothing.
Well, apart from the celebrities and the superstars.
Right, so again, there's old Al. He don't look too happy, right? This one here, look, I'm full of myself, right? And right, anyway, the old checkerboard clothing. And then I thought this is quite funny because apparently Dan likes to put on fake moustaches, right? Happy Danny Day from me, Daniello. Danny will be back. She is currently frozen. I thought that was rather odd. I don't really know anybody that would do that. Again, and then again, once again, here we are with the old crossing of the legs, now trying to be a real sort of feminine sort of look again, which I guess it is. We've got all these pictures with all this black and white symbology, mind control nonsense again, right? Same thing here. Once again, cannot stop doing this. And like we said in the thing, I think it was about the missionary man.
Yeah,
they do. This is a great way of hiding the middle finger, right? So you can't see the ring finger. Now that I am telling you now, that there is the carbon copy of Noelia's nephew.
Yeah,
right. That is what he looks like, right? And that is what he looked like. And I haven't got a picture of him anymore. But again, you just got to look and see, what do you see there? And with one of the album covers, there's old Al playing again, looking like Rudy again. What is this in here then? I mean, doesn't it look a little bit like there's maybe a little bit more tucked away down there than... Perhaps, I don't know. It's not.
We'll leave you to decide.
We'll leave you to decide on that one.
Yeah.
The other one is, again, they like this. See, old Al never looks convinced. So we've got the star and all this. We've got the X, right? We've got the two-tone hair, right? The duality thing. The sort of band that comes along once in a generation and changes everything. Well...
What, you mean like the Beatles?
That was another thing we were going to say as well. Here's another dodgy looking The Throne on Fire. But what we were going to say as well is when I did the thing with Mike Williams, and we don't really want to sort of, like I said, we don't really want to sort of give people too much of a hard time. Here he is, there's old Rudy, Titanic. But if a band like the Beatles were basically contrived, Tavistocked, whatever, then there's no reason to say that these bands aren't the same. And people will say, well, yeah, but they're from Mexico. Whatever. Well, why would Mexico also not want to be bamboozling people and getting people into doing certain things? So this is old Al again. Looks like a girl here. Got the little owl on there. Well, we know the owl symbology, especially on the $1 bill. And then, Serge sent me this one. And he goes, this one with them look like they're all wearing their wedding dresses, right? Okay, but once again, they've got the big old chunky shoes on, right? There's old Paul playing the drums. Again, got the little owl on, right? Again, all symbology.
It would go, oh, cute.
Oh, cute, yeah. Now, I'm going to show you a bloke that I met a few times, right? Now, where is he? Where's old Vic? Oh, here we go, look. So, look at this, right? So we're going to take this. So here we go again. This dumbass look, right? Again, Al's not looking very confident, right? Here we are again, the same old stuff. Old Al there, he looks a bit more confident there, so I'll give him that. But I'm going to show you. Okay, so this is Vicky Fox, right? Now, I met Victor Fox, right? Now, it's obviously a made-up name. So that's Vicky Fox, right? That looks like a girl, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That looks like a girl, right? Here's a front picture of Vicky Fox. who looks just like a girl. Here's Vicky Fox with longer hair, and this is back in the old Enough's Enough days, right? He was in Enough's Enough, and he was also in that's old Phil Susan there from Ozzy's band.
Yeah.
He was also, there he is, was in old Motley Crue, old Chubster's old Vince Neil's band.
Chubsters.
Yeah, he's all fat now, isn't he?
Yeah.
With Steve Stevens there, right? Who's another one worth looking into. Amazing guitar player, right? So when you look at these pictures like this, right, now I don't know whether Vic was ever a real bloke or not, right? But you look at that face, and then you start looking at these sort of pictures, which was the other one you sent me, right? I'm sorry, but this, I don't know.
If you go between that one you're going on now and the other one with Vic Fox there.
Well, he's better looking.
Yeah, well, bit more of a prominent chin.
Yeah, hang on, this is opening this bleeding thing up now.
Photos. This is what I did last time.
Yeah, it's a pain, right?
Yeah.
But we're just showing the similarities. Now, we know that the old androgynous thing back in the day...
I mean, look how tall she's got.
Yeah.
Well, she's just wearing clumpy shoes.
But, well, yeah, maybe, I don't know. Right, but you go from this. Now, of course, people do grow up, right? They grow up. But, like I said, when you look at old Vic there, right, who's basically got the same chin, isn't he, really, in a way? They're not that far dissimilar, are they? These have got longer chins, right? But there were some other pictures that Serge sent me. Oh dear, right? And this is what when old Jennifer Jerry Lopez said, the magic of makeup, right? This person again, vinyl album Rex, Error by the Warning, right? That is not a picture that anybody should be putting out. That looks like somebody who's completely worn out for whatever reasons. I don't know. Here's another one with...
well, yeah.
Right. Okay. Says it all. Kind of says it all. It's said that could be Vicky Fox with a smile. And then when we go back up here, we're going to have a quick look. Because, again, this could go on forever. We'll have a quick look at Dan. Gonna have a look at Dan, who plays a mean guitar. I've got to be honest with you. This is one that we used in one of the other pictures, right? Okay, we've got the old dodgy hair, the duality hair again, the heart signs. They love the heart signs, which of course we know is all about a certain type of signage again. Quite passable here, but you take any good-looking bloke and get them great hair, that's what they're going to look like. Like Mark says, they always like doing the guitar thing like this, which is the phallus, right? You've got the typical black and white, right? Love the heart business and all this kind of stuff. And then this is apparently supposed to be this person when they were young. Well, that looks like a little boy to me. I don't know. Again, these are male mannerisms. Whatever way you want to swing it, that looks a bit if as well, doesn't it? Right, these are...
Yeah, I mean that...
Right, now let's have a look. Now, apparently, that is the same person when they chubbed out a little bit.
Yeah. And it's like when I talked to you and you said about that, I said about, well, look at four non-blondes.
Oh, yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, great music, great musicians.
Yeah.
Same stances, same masculine approach to everything. And people will go, well, now you're being sexist. No, we're not.
We're not.
We're not being sexist.
No, I am 100% behind the girls rocking it out and doing music. But what I'm not behind is...
all this fake shit that's coming along with it.
Yeah, with dodgy characters who are inspiring. I mean, look at the shoulders on this. And they'll say, well, that's because she's slim. And it's like, well, maybe it is. What is this? What's that song? What is this? What from Tim Burton, The Nightmare Before Christmas or whatever.
Yeah.
So they put these stars here. I mean, who comes up with this idea? Again, here we go. Male mannerisms again. Here we go again. Right now, apparently, this person was this person. Right, here we are again with it. Notice the chunky boots. Now, this picture here, I would say, I know you can have off days, but I would say, not again. Go away. This person here looks just completely
wasted.
Yeah, like this person is.
And they got the rose on the top.
Yeah, under some kind of control or whatever. We've done the albums and everything, and then what we're going to do? Go have a quick look. We can't leave old Paul out, bless him, because So here's old Paul, like we said, with the thingy, and then Neil sent me that one. I went, oh yeah, all right, okay, and then this one, right, and this one. Well, again, you can see there's something not. Sorry about this, guys. This.
It's just because it's loading the photograph and it's putting it in.
Yeah, you want it to load the photograph, but bloody well won't.
No, exactly. Maybe someone's trying to tell us something.
Yeah. So there's something not right about this, again, and of course, there's the old, got to take a picture with the one eye showing, of course, what's old Paul had tattooed on the back of his neck, a dagger with a butterfly. Because we all know about the butterfly, don't we? Mm-hmm. Right, okay, so... Anyway, I think that's really kind of enough, because I look at these bods for too long and it makes me want to throw up.
But the other thing that came up, as I said, when that came up, for no reason at all after we'd looked at them, you should have a look at these things, was briefly, because we're going to do a bit more on this.
Yeah.
But again, some of the symbolism behind the thing. So no one's saying that it doesn't follow suit for reasons. Because you said last night, we were talking about it last night, and you said, listen to this, here we go.
I don't really pick that up. Anyway,
no, I don't.
Just polishing off the bottom.
You said, well, where are all the mods? Where are all the punks? Where are all the rockers? Where are all the rockabillys? And there are still people that like those different types of genres of music.
And ska music.
We'll talk about the punk side of things and the influence behind that,
new
the
romantics,
government thing, new romantics and stuff like that later on, because we're going to do a little bit on that, as you said. But for some unknown reason, looking through the stuff with the warning and the one that old Sven and I did on, the Lennox.
Yeah.
Before you come on to those, we'll stick with my ones before you come on to the other pictures. Liliac came up, and I was like,
right, that's what I've got here.
Yeah, who the hell is Liliac?
Right, here we are, Exhibit A.
Well, Liliac are 5 siblings.
Yeah, let's bring out the little picture first.
Yeah.
Where's the littlest one? There's one with them when they're really little, isn't there?
I don't know. I sent it to you.
Well, that's good enough anyway for this.
Yeah.
Oh, here they are.
Oh, that's when they went on.
Oh, yeah. So
that's when they were on AGT, but they were around long before that. So their dad and their mum, as far as it says on the net, and there's a Wikipedia site on them, not much information on them.
No.
And they were actually pretty good when I watched the video. They sounded really good. Again.
Hang on, don't tell me this has stopped recording. No, it's still recording. Good.
Oh, that's good. There we go.
That's a piss off when it does that.
Yeah.
We'll go back to that. Hang on. Hold on.
Really
Sorry about this. We're getting fed up with this because this machine's playing up like nothing on earth.
Yeah, we need to sort it out.
Full of shit. Anyway,
I think the zombies are coming for it.
So,
but they performed on AGT, but they got a good following on their website and on Facebook and Instagram. Young band, good musicians, all the rest of the stuff. The same as the other ones coming up, but they're not famous. And it seems that they funded, or through their stuff, they funded most of the stuff themselves. And it said on their thing with Ace, I'd just say that the tour that's coming out is going to have to be cancelled due to funding and security risks and all the other types of different bits and bobs.
Well, it's mainly funding, wasn't it? They just couldn't afford to do it.
They can't afford to do it because they're self-funded, they're self-produced, they got their own label. Dad's a musician, a music producer, mum's in the industry, and they're from
Transylvania.
Right, Romania. And they're called Liliac, and Liliac is the Romanian name for bat.
And what colour guitar has he got?
Bat.
Purple. Right, so what was cool about this it popped up.
Yeah.
We were upstairs and it popped up and Neil goes, yeah, look at these blokes. So look at this band, right? So it was a Dio song. Was it Holy Diver? Holy Diver, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, so they're getting recognition for a cover song, which is often what happens, right? So the first thing that we noticed with this was, first off, they're on America, AGT. Not AGD, AGT. America's Got Talent. So they're on this show, right, which is a shit show, absolute shitstorm of absolute garbage and rubbish, right? Not the bands, the judges and the audience, right? Because the audience is prompted, of course it is, it's a TV show, right? So...
under their father, who's also the producer and manager.
Yeah.
They managed during the old lock-in.
Yeah, exactly.
To do all these different stuff, and it's all available online. We won't bring that up because we've done quite a bit on the other bands and stuff like that, but you'll show a few pictures. And then produce 3 EPs or CDs during the lockdown period and stuff like that. But it was just that I said, look at the influence that was coming in.
Yeah.
Now, this one here, who's the drummer, it doesn't look like that anymore. That's because she's...
apparently become a mother,
having a baby, 24.
This
See,
one
she's
here,
very slim there, and she ends up the tallest out of the lot of them. But it's just
I know where the hobbits came from.
Well, he's the oldest one on that side. That guy there, as it said on the thing. But they've now got a standing guy for tours and stuff like that, who's taken over the drummer. But again, like you said, it's this influence from when I first saw a picture of them. With their instruments and all the other types of stuff and that they were playing, where they're non-demonised. That's the only way I can say it, demonised. Yeah. To that shit.
Yeah, I mean...
I know it's a representation.
The heavy metal thing has always been this, right? Okay, going back to Black Sabbath and everything. And there's nothing wrong in that, right? Yeah. But once you start again, like Ronnie James Dio said, and if I can find it, I'll put the link in.
Well, the one that you saw that I showed you, and it said, didn't it? I think it said, wow, listen to her voice.
Yeah, exactly.
And you said, yeah, she's got a good voice.
But it was a studio recording.
So you said, and they're miming. And then it's like, this picture you're going to bring up here in a minute is her on Facebook wishing her a happy 24th birthday, the lead singer.
Yeah. So why do you need to do this?
Which is very similar to the other one.
Again, you got your one eye covered, you got your tongue sticking out. You're making yourself look like a mental case, right?
And why are you sticking your finger
now? Now the thing is, I am sure that this person here, great hair again, by the way. Yeah. I'm sure that this person here is not any way, which shape or form evil, right? Nor the family, right? Nor this bunch, right?
Well, she's left now, isn't she? The drummer.
Yeah. Well, that's
to pursue her marital and motherhood.
Yeah, right. Okay.
At 24.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, where are these people getting their influences from to do stupid shit like stick your tongue out? Now, if I had a girlfriend. Which I haven't, and nor do I want one, right? If my girlfriend was taking pictures of herself with her tongue sticking out like that, she would either have to stop doing it, and you may turn around and say, "Oh, you're a bit misogynistic." No, you look backward. You look like there's something wrong with you, right?
I mean,
she's got a bit of a big nose, this girl, but she looks good. She's a good-looking girl, right?
But that'd be like me going out, and I don't edit this one out, and going out and saying it's really good for me to drop my pants and get my balls out in public.
Yeah, exactly.
But
exactly.
Why are you doing that? Because I think it's a natural thing for me.
You know what I mean? I mean, looks a little Kate Kev Bush there and whatever. Right, but the point of
this one was interesting as well. Yeah. You said this was one of the things.
See,
the bat.
It's got a bat, but of course it looks like the heart as well. But you know, it looks like that. Well, I can't remember. There was a TV show with a girl with a bit of a big nose. But you know, you go, well, she looks all right, you know, for somebody in their 20s. But what is influencing you? And I show you what. Well, we're going to have a quick look at a couple of things here, right? Before, I just wanted to throw this in. Can anybody guess who that is?
Don't tell them.
We're not going to tell you who that is, but I can tell you who that is. I'm not going to tell you. This is another family that have a young person who has been very influential over the years, and if didn't have a background like the family has, would have probably been removed from school and the parents charged and thrown in jail, right?
Yeah, answers on a postcard.
Answers on a postcard.
To P.O. Box 333.
P.O. Box P.O. Box 33. Now, I'm going to show you, just quickly, the influence, and I called this The Others. So, they talk about the heavy metal thing, right? I'm not going to edit any of this. I'm not doing any editing anymore because I think the old cock-ups and everything are quite good. So if all the symbology is heavy metal and heavy rock, and we've said this before, why is this clown doing it? Why is Rihanna doing it? Why is old Freddie Fergie doing it?
Yeah,
right?
very sad, that, isn't it?
Okay. Why is... oh God, what's her name? Can't remember her bleeding name now. Why is this
out the X-Files?
No, out of Evolution. Right? Why is that person doing it? Right? Why is, well, almost doing it but sticking the tongue out? Right? Why is this person doing it? Helen Mirren. Why is old matey? But now he could have been pasted in doing this, right? Mucked about with. Why is Kev Cardi B doing it? If it's a heavy metal thing, right, there's one here. Where's old JW? Here he is. Why is JW doing it? What, are they all into Metallica? No, of course not. They are showing you what club they belong to, whether it's in the bigger form like Rihanna, who's never written a song in his life, right, or whether it's Simon, right, Simone Simmons. Now, I've used this one before. Beautiful hair again. You look like you've got some kind of mental disorder. I'm sorry, dear. Brings out an album cover like this. Great cover, by the way, with the serpents and all this kind of stuff, right? Photoshopped to hell. Of course it is, right? Photoshopped to hell. Excuse my pun. And then you look back and you go, well, why did they use it in Walt Disney as well then?
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, right? You know, and you got these buxom bimbos, just like they all are, in these feet like this lot. You know what I mean? All their fake boobs and everything, right? Okay, there's nothing wrong with fake boobs, girls. I'm not knocking fake boobs. But why would it be in there, right? And then, when you start, like I say, you look at even a little bit deeper, and you go, right, well, it's Simone Simmons, who's got a cracking voice. Right, the band sucks, I'm afraid. Epic as sucks. Did some work with the band Camelot with old... I can't remember his name now. Anyway, got a good voice. And this is what she thinks it's inspiring to do with the daughter. To get the daughter to do it.
With the old skeleton guy from A Nightmare Before
Christmas. Now, this little chap here, don't look too...
Well, she looks like Thingamy out of... Poltergeist.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, the kid who disappeared, right?
The kid who disappeared.
Now, when we were talking about, did we do the bit where I pulled up what men are saying? I haven't brought them in yet, have I? Or did I? I forgot. Anyway, well, if we put it in, we put it in. Right. So here's the old Dooper Leaper, right, wearing the old checkerboard thing, game with the no disrespect, girls, but with the tacky shit tattoos, right? What exactly are you duping people over? And like I said, all this, we've had all this before, right? They've all got great hair, but we all know that they are not quite on the level. So the reason that these people follow these patterns, that's Elon's dad, mum, right? And old May, he loves to do this shit, right? I mean, this one is like off the charts doing this, right? Now you tell me. That looks like, what's his name from Clockwork Orange? Now he's got older, right? Look, what is this? So either they're all having a laugh on our behalf and going, come on, we'll just bamboozle all these bods, or they belong to something that I don't think is healthy.
Well, many people probably don't think it's healthy.
No, there are many people. I know we're preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
But we, like we said, when we looked at this band.
Well, I mean, the thing was, it was a update on a shipbook story that came up.
Oh yeah.
Somebody that you were connected, and we're not going to mention the names or anything else like that. But it was just like the way it was leaving. It was quite funny because the stuff on the warning the stuff on Liliac, the stuff on what the pictures that you're going to show in a minute, the stuff on or the information that came up about the satanic, the Baphomet, the horns, the star, and all that type of stuff, all seemed to focus around a 2 or 3 day period, didn't it?
That's right, yeah, as if we were supposedly being now
told about it.
Told about now,
guiding us towards
what I wanted to do now. It doesn't mean like this is a biblical secrets of heaven, right? So you can take it whatever way you want, right? Now, like me and old Serge have done for a long time, we've tried to use this 10% rule, and like we said, I know you can't say, well, you'd worry about everything. We don't worry about shit. We're not worried about anything. But from our backgrounds, as we've said over and over again, and you can check us out, you can find us out very, very easy. I'm not frightened to show my face or anything like that, or use my real name. And like I said, if we disappear one day, then you know why, don't we? We've been fingered by the men in black, right? But anyway, so the V sign, right? They all love it, don't they? So we've just watched The Warning constantly doing 2 signs. Three. The V sign, the heart sign, and the horns, right? So it says here, now, is this real or is this bullshit? It's bullshit. But the Hebrew language has no real numbers, as the numbers are represented by letters. And the Hebrew V or Vav represents the number 6, which symbolises, what does it say there, Serge?
Unrest or evil.
Unrest or evil. And people go, don't be so ridiculous. It means peace and victory. And it's like, who told you that? Right? The V sign for victory was introduced in January 1941 as part of the Allied campaign for World War II. Right? Sir Winston Nobhead Churchill, British Prime Minister, and credited with making the V sign famous as it is today. He would flash it whenever he had the chance, and the media captured hundreds of photos. It was believed that by making this sign, Churchill was expressing confidence in the eventual victory over a certain group of people from the other side of the Atlantic. Thus, the sign of the 2 fingers pointing upwards, the shape of the V, became universally accepted as the sign of victory. However, V is the Roman sign for the number 5. Penta, meaning 5, is a symbol of the pentagram and is used in occultism to symbolize the law of 5, which would make sense, right? Note that the words elite, the V represents the 5th age of the 5th of Aquarius, 5th age of the age of Aquarius. For they believe that fulfilling the New World Order utopia and keeping humanity below 500 million, which you saw on those ridiculous fake stones, would maintain perpetual balance with nature. In Kabbalistic languages, let's see if I can highlight that, it'd be cool. The Hebrew letter that corresponds with V means nail. The nail is one of those secret titles of Satan and the Brotherhood of Satanism. When Satanists and occultists flash this sign, they evoke the one they serve, the nail. The nail is the tool that was used to pierce the hands and the feet of Jesus during the crucifixion. Now, you can take these whatever way you want, whether it's the 666, whether it's this thing, the sign of the moon, whether it's the horns, or whatever you want to do. You can take it whatever way you like. But again, like we've said, looking at this, there is something very, very, very disturbing about this kind of thing. And like I might have read earlier on, because I've already forgotten, I found this site, right, called Politics Rights, Politics Reshaping, Symbolisms Reshaping Political Norms and Culture. And this is quite good. I'm going to put all these links in the descriptions, guys, right? So you have to look at it like this. In 2020, when the absolute bullshit story of all time came out, that doesn't include the second bullshit story of all time, which involves a little dwarf in a yellow and blue country. He knows who he is, or she does. In music, satanic symbolism has been a potent force, potentially in genres like heavy metal and rock. bands and artists that use this imagery not just for shock value, but the means to explore and challenge societal taboos, authority and conventional moral values. This has often led to controversy, but has also opened up discussions about artistic freedom, censorship and the role of art in society. Fair play. The symbolism in the context transcends mere whatever that says aesthetics. God, I can't fucking stupid.
It's your glasses.
Becoming a form, it's bad text, becoming a form of commentary on issues like religious hypocrisy, political oppression and the human condition. Satanic symbolism stands as power, a power emblem of change and resistance, right? Okay, so challenging authority, change and resistance. What did we see, everybody, in 2020? All the metalers, all the bands, all the pop stars, punks and rock stars right across the board supporting and pushing the convid. All of them. So this shows what a load of bullshit all this symbology is about. Because
there was a great video, wasn't there, of old I'll Be Back.
Old Arnie
going up in his truck up to a centre in California, where he pulls up, gets his arm out, doesn't he, out the window.
Oh yeah, gets a fake syringe shot.
Gets a fake syringe jab and says, I've been vaccinated. Make sure you get yours. I'll be back.
Yeah, and if YouTube wants to take us down for saying that, that is actually what he said, right?
It's what he said. I watched it, so it's not a lie. It was visible.
They talk here about religious hypocrisy. This is one of the most hypocritical statements of all time. So, reading up on some of this stuff, right? And again, old me and Serge, we are not religious, right? We don't believe in the church. We know the church has been manufactured by man, but we do believe in the big man upstairs, the creator who put us here for a reason. And I think, as Mark Devlin said, this is one of the reasons that we were put here. And that is, as it says, is to expose evil at every opportunity. And I'm not saying these poor bods that are in these bands and who've been manipulated from birth are evil, but they are promoting an evil idealism,
and they might not even realise they're doing it.
No, and anybody that turns around, right? Why do you think this shit looks scary? If you showed this to kids in films when we were kids, we'd have had nightmares, right? There's the as above, so below. And then, you know, we're talking about how this influences people. And then you get people like this, right? On stage wearing all this shit. And the funny thing about this as well is, where's the other one?
Down there.
This one here, right? The funny thing about this is, and I'm sorry, mate, for bringing you into this, but an old friend of mine plays in this band. And oh God, he's opening this up again. Anyway, an old friend of mine plays in this band, right? And I'm sorry to say, whatever way you want to swing it, you look ridiculous, right? And you are not promoting something that is healthy, something that is.
And they'll say, "Oh, it's not evil. It's the old Viking horns."
Yeah, of course it's the Viking horns. Give me a break, right? And they're all doing it. And I'm sorry that, you know, that friends of mine and people that I know are involved in this kind of shit. I can guarantee you, he is just an ordinary bloke, and does.
I showed you. They're all doing the old symbolism with the fingers.
Oh yeah, they're all doing
the Baphomet signs and all the other types of things.
The old Baffer. The old Baffer. But like we said, is there is something very, very odd going on, and it's been going on for a good few years now. And I'm afraid that these three here, look at this. This is arrogance, this is quirky, and this is, oh shit, what am I doing? There is something very odd about this and about others that follow this, and I think it's a very, very a very scary scenario for parents, and as we've said before, you know, years and years ago, they did a thing called the Satanic Panic, right? Which had people like, had bands like Twisted Sister and Judas Priest and all that being pulled up. And the thing about that was, again, back in the day, I laughed at it and went, oh, look, here's all these homely mums. And when they said rock and roll was the devil's music, like, it was true. It was true. Now, as we've said, with all this stuff, I think we pulled that one up. You know, what a young girl wears this? Give me a break. You know, you can see, look, wonky eye syndrome, whatever, right? But the thing about this is, and we'll end with this this little picture here again.
Just a little happy note.
Just on a happy note, right? Where's she gone? Where's he gone? Here he is. We'll end on that one there. That's
the one you started with.
Yeah, we'll end it on the one I started it with. But what it all says to me is that there is something very, very dodgy going on, right? And I used to think of myself as a bit of a rock and roll guy. I've been all over the world. I lived in America. I did a load of work with companies out there and all this. And when I was talking to Mike Stock from Stock 18 in Waterman, and he was telling me about, he was thinking about making a film, and he got, I think, about 20 artists who were all brave enough to, you know, to step up to the plate and say what they think. Because we believe, me and Serge and our mum, we believe that when it's over, it ain't over, we're off to do something else. So we don't give a shit. You know, we really don't. But for parents with young kids, young children who are being influenced, but now this lot hasn't got tatted up yet. That's going to be the next thing. You're going to see that coming, I would imagine, within the next few years. As I've said, who is this? And there is a final picture I want to use, because it is absolute. Where is it? A classic. I'm afraid, like I said, I can't. Of course, they support all this BS and everything. Of course they do. We'll leave it at that. But there's, you know, no disrespect, I'm sure they have worked incredibly at that. And actually, mate, that flag has been pasted in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look, that's not even real.
Yeah, you said that real. When you looked at it, the hands and the overlay, it's just like somebody's taken that and they've put the LGBT flag in. You know, the old bits you can see if you hover over the...
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, I'm pointing. No one can see me pointing, but you can see that's been
superimposed,
and then the hands and the arm on her arm has been.
It's fuzzed out there,
superimposed over the top. So somebody's taken these.
Sorry,
hold on, where's it gone?
Sorry,
that's all right.
Clicked the wrong thing.
Yeah, but somebody's taken that image of them, whatever they're pointing at, and they've used it for a publicity thing. That's faced out. They've superimposed that. That hand superimposed over the top. We've done these things to show that you can actually do it. And people go, yeah, what a great photograph. No, it's not.
No, not at all. But there was one I was going to use, and it doesn't. I think I'll slot it in anyway through the thing. But
find it later on if necessary.
Sitting there, not eating something. But anyway, like I said, the thing is, this was I don't know. There was just something about this that wound me up. And we know there's plenty of them out there, and I just think that, like I said, you know, your children are the most important. Like Michael Jackson said, the children are the world, right, or whatever, right? And if you allow your children to be influenced, there's another one I could have bought into this about these girl guitarists, you know, who basically look like a bunch of cheap strippers, and that's disrespectful to strippers.
Well, they're
playing guitars by swimming pools and bikinis.
Yeah, I told you I'm going to watch it. There's I don't know whether it's a limited series or whatever it is on Netflix with Simon Cowell. Of course, we know who started AUT and BGT, because you talked about that before with Simon Cowell about the next boy band. That's right, yeah. The next boy band, you know, another manufactured boy band. So it'd be interesting to see where that goes. I haven't started watching it. I'm sure
there he is.
People. Oh, that was it, wasn't it? And you said to me, "What's the colour that's highlighted behind it?" And I went,
they love the colour
purple.
Right, you tell me that is not a dude, right? I mean, come on, right? But just quickly, and I almost forgot about this, and I thought it was very important. Old Sergi said to me, he goes, here, I'll look at these two guys playing guitar.
Oh yeah, there's two young lads.
Two young lads playing guitar.
One on AGT and one on BGT.
Yeah, one was 10, one was 11, right?
Yeah.
Right. And these two little lads were playing guitar, right? And the first one, and of course you got these clowns in the judging panel doing the devil's sign again, the devil's horn sign and everything, and the audience going mad, right? The first guy playing the guitar and singing, he was miming, right? There's no way a 3'4" boy is bopping around on the stage with a massive adult guitar playing. All his fingering was perfect, but he was still miming. They all mime to playback on these shows. The second guy, who wanted to be Slash from Guns N' Roses,
didn't sing, did he? Apart from saying,
no, he didn't sing. He just played guitar. He was a little bit more convincing because there were some bum notes, and I think what they do is they get him to play it first and then play back to the playback. But the point was with this, like with the old Top of the Pops when we were growing up, they're trying to convince you that these kids are playing live and they're not. So they are instigating that lying to a large group of people, an audience, international audience, is the way to go. And we know everybody's told lies. I've told plenty of lies through my life. I'm not frightened to admit it. But if you're allowing your kids to lie, to tell people that you are doing something and you're not actually doing it, they're going to grow up thinking it's okay to get away with telling porcupines, aren't they? You know, I mean, that you can't really get around it. There is no way that these kids were playing I know some amazing guitarists who make plenty of mistakes live on stage, especially if they're moving about a bit because the guitar is heavy. But anyway, Dan the man there, poor old fella. We'll leave him with that one, and the colour purple.
Dan the man, leather tan.
And we hope that everybody has an exciting January, and we're going to have a bit of a break, aren't we, from this?
Yeah, we need to. I'm going to do some stuff on the old One Eye Club.
Oh yeah, the old One Eye Club.
Which we're going to do. Going to look a bit more into Artemis, the meaning behind Artemis, as people know who Artemis is, but the NASA thing, as we've already talked about.
Yeah, because that is VV funny, isn't it?
Which is going to be key for our realm, our world, our plane, our planet, whatever you want to think it's called.
Yeah, whatever you want to think it's called.
From 2026, February to April, it's going to be very interesting.
Especially with all this new 19 they're pushing out, of all this stuff that looks... We just watched a thing of people ice skating on the Seine in France.
Which was on Facebook. And
somebody
said to me in the shop, I told you.
No, there were people skating on the Seine, it froze over, and it's like, no, it didn't.
No.
It's all made up.
Because it's on a site where somebody... It's called their AI site on Facebook.
Yeah.
Christmas
anyway,
Day 2025, but we're waffling now.
We want to thank the people for the new year who've actually bothered to watch and comment. We've had nothing really bad. Well, we're waiting for a couple of shitty ones, but we haven't had any yet, which is quite good. So we hope that you have a great new year. And
wherever you are, because there's, as Gary's found out recently, because I told him about that 2 days ago, and I think we've already mentioned it, there's lots of New Year's cancellations, aren't there, around the world?
Oh yeah, the old flights and all this rubbish. So
well, not just the flights, but like
the New Year's Eve being cancelled again.
New York's being cancelled.
Yeah.
London hasn't cancelled it.
No.
Nor has...
But again, all control again, and like we said, we've got a couple of good ones that are going to come up, but we're going to wait a little bit more.
But we'll see what comes out of all these cancellations and the security stuff and everything else, and it'll go, probably New Year pass with very few complications.
Exactly. Yeah, so...
and in the meanwhile, you've got all those lovely smiles, look at them.
In the meanwhile, all you got to do is remember... That's the rule of thumb. Anyway, we're going to sign out. thanks for listening in.
Have a good new year, and we'll speak to you in 2026.
Yay!